Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, where today we'll be doing an overview of Ezio and basically going through his abilities and a little bit of gameplay thrown in as well. So yeah, we're going to go through that today. I'd just like to thank everybody of late who subscribed to the channel. It's been blowing up as far as a small YouTube channel goes, and yeah, really appreciate it. If this is the first time clicking on a video, feel free to subscribe, it'd be much appreciated. And if you have already, feel free to recommend me in any chats or groups that you're in, or anybody else you know who plays the game. It'd be much appreciated. Right, so let's dive into Ezio. He, for me, is Assassin's Creed. I loved Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. For me, by far the best games in the franchise. Absolutely loved the games to death. So I do hold a soft spot for Ezio, and I promise not to be biased in this video. So let's go into Ezio. Just as a disclaimer, I only have him at a 3-star, and I only have him with T4 gear. So obviously the scalings of this can go higher, and he obviously can do a little bit better end game for certain people. But for me, and this is just me, this is where I have him at the minute. So right, I have him as a 3-star. I'm going to go through his abilities. The one thing I do like about Ezio, for me, since I started playing the game as basically a free-to-play player, is I found him very accessible. He's one of them heroes that are in the DNA Cube token crystals. Obviously, you can get his fragments through the Helix Rift events, so I have found him quite accessible. You can get him in store for overflow tokens and obviously your credits as well. So yeah, very accessible in my eyes. Right, so if we go to his skills, let's have a look at his skills. Well, we're looking at the profile. You can see he's maxed out on assassination, so obviously great for assassinating, says it in the bio. Good at free running, so good at traversing the map, brilliant for that. And he's got a little bit, he can tank a little bit of damage, not much, but he hasn't got a bad defense on him. And when he does hit, he hits a lot harder than probably, I'd say, a few people in his category. So as far as an assassin goes, or shadow assassin, he's decent. He's good. So right, let's go to his skills. Right, so his first skill is counter-attack. Now, counter-attack with a devastating blow after receiving an enemy strike. Good ability, but obviously you have to rely on getting hit, and that's the only downside on this. Obviously, you don't want to take the hits because you take the damage. So at the current rank I have him, he instantly strikes for 110% damage with a 3% chance to instantly kill an enemy. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I'll be true to you. I don't think, if I have done, I just thought he might have been low health or something like that. So I've never seen him outright kill an enemy. When you get him to rank 5, I think he does 150% damage, and he's a 7.5% chance to instantly kill an enemy, which still isn't great odds. You know, it's not going to happen that often, so I wouldn't rely on that ability. Right, Assassination Master. Basically, this is the little assassin icon that appears on people's heads when you can obviously assassinate them. His lethalticity is very good, very good. You can't train it any higher in the training room. He, along with Altair and Darius, are the top 3. So for lethalticity, they are the top 3 in the game. Basically, by having this, it gives you extra actions, which it says, which is air assassinations, so assassinate an enemy from the air. So if you're on a ledge above them, you can obviously assassinate them. And then stealth assassination means that you can hide in hay barrels or hay sacks, stacks, whatever you want to call them, or windows, and assassinate from there. Because of how high his lethalticity is, he does have a very high percentage at pulling this off. So it does make him good and reliable for obviously going through content where it's quite a high level, because you scale very well with it, and obviously you have a very good chance to assassinate your enemy. Right, his other ability here is Free Run Expert. So basically, this enables you to bypass, when there's the opportunity, bypass certain fights, certain scenarios with this free run ability. So basically, you can use zip lines. So if you've been playing and you can see a zip line, usually if you can't use a zip line, you have to scale down the building and across and take out, could be 3 to 4 enemies. If you can zip down the zip line, boom, done. Don't have to fight them. instantly bypass that section. So yeah, great ability. Obviously you can climb walls. Leap of Faith, which is also another one like the zip line. There's obviously opportunities where you can a leap of faith off the building. Saved me many a times. And the lift as well, which if anybody's played the actual series Assassin's Creed games where you hit the lift and propel up the building, that's what you can do in this. So again, bypassing enemies, taking them to the top of the section without encountering every enemy on every level. Something that I don't know if newer players know, or obviously presuming the end game people do, but a lot of legendary heroes have passive abilities, and Ezio is one of them. So if you look at his passive, Evader. The stance allows improved advanced techniques after each strike received. Strikes received increase dodge by 2% for a maximum of 10. So basically, if you get hit 10 times, your dodge is going to increase by 20% for the rest of the mission. Obviously, I wouldn't go in with the fact that you want to take 10 hits to increase your dodge, but if you are getting pounded a little bit, it is a nice little backup plan to help him obviously dodge. And that's not just a flat 20%. Obviously you take into account the dodge that your gear gives you, and obviously just his base stat in general. So it is very handy. I think by the time you've got, for me, with the T4 gear on it, I'd say he's probably, dodge percentage is probably, if this was to apply, would probably be about 27-28%. Right, and Hartley Constitution, phenomenally physique and endurance honed through intense training. Health and defense apparently increased by 12%. So by going into the mission, you instantly gain 10% health and defense just for going into the mission. So it makes him a little bit more tankier, and it makes him just a little bit more durable in a fight, and obviously gives him a little bit of a bigger health pool. So if you are running a healer, there's obviously more room for healing and a little bit more room for error if you do take some hits. So as you can see, I've got tier 4 gear on him. I haven't got the tier 5 gear yet, and he's not of the star level for me to equip it anyway. But with the gear, I have gone for obviously lethalticity, because that is what his main skill is about assassinating obviously people from secluded places, from up above. So the more you pump into this, the better percentage chance you're going to have of actually pulling off them assassinations. I've also got, obviously, with the Noble Mail armor, I sacrificed 10 health for an extra bit of lethalticity and a little bit more attack. So it's just my way of kind of strengthening what he needs to be strengthened on. The warrior boots, obviously, I've got there for lethalticity and obviously to help his agility. He's got very good agility, so these go hand in hand. It just makes the character's percentages just that little bit better. So if you go into stats, right, everything in the green is being basically modified by the gear. So his attack and defense have gone up, obviously due to the gear I'm wearing. So is his lethalticity, his dexterity, and his agility. His dexterity will always be poor. There's no point. He's not there to pick locks. He's not there to, well, basically that's what all it does, picking locks and doing things like that. He's not there for that. He's basically there to assassinate people and navigate the map pretty well. As you can see, his defense is reasonably high with the gear on, so it just makes him that little bit durable. When it comes to endgame, he's someone who has a very high chance of assassinating, but if he does fail it, can probably, with his tier 5 gear on, tank at least one failed assassination. So he's got a little bit of durability on him, but he's not reliable for obviously hand-to-hand combat. He's all about his sneaky assassinations and, yeah, just taking them out when he gets a chance. So that is basically what Ezio's used for. Obviously with the progression, if you go to find DNA cubes, he's obviously going to be farmable in region 5 once I unlock it, and as you can see, he's in the DNA cubes at the minute for the event, so as again, it's quite accessible, and he's also in the regular cubes. So as I said, he's one of them that, you know, Altair and Darius are new to the game. very hard to acquire to get to 5-star unless you've got countless money that you can constantly buy cubes on and energy refills when the events are on. I mean, Auditore's only been around twice, and I know I've seen people with him at 5-star dropping a hell of a lot of wedge to get him to a 5-star. So yeah, as I said, as far as people progressing in the game, going through Region 3 and Region 4, Ezio will be your best bet for a Shadow Assassination, because he is more accessible and you're more than likely going to be able to get him to a 5-star far quicker than if you were to get, obviously, Auditore or Darius. Right, let's take him into a little mission. I've got him all geared up, so let's go to a quick mission. I'm pretty sure, I think I just cleared a bit of Region 4 with him, so I'll go into that because it's quite harder content for me anyway. Yeah, here we go. So right, let's take him in here. Edit team, let's get old Ezio in there. Get rid of him. Put him in there. We've got Yusuf, and we're running with Louisa as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take her out and put Jasper in just for the healing. Just in case I do have to heal him up. Obviously I want to use him more than everybody else because this is what the video is about. Right, so let's take him in here. I mean, my power level for Ezio is higher than what he's recommended here, so this is obviously going to help me out. But as you can see with Ezio, taking him into this first mission, everything majority of the time is 95%. Obviously when it comes to jumping through traps and everything, I think obviously the fact that it's more awkward lowers his agility a little bit better, a little bit lower, so I can boost him with Yusuf. But let's just go through the top. So right, let's take him in here right now. This is what the shadow assassination is. So this is one of them where he uses a secluded place to assassinate an enemy. So that's what he did there. Right, I'm going to use his leap of like his free runner ability, because then that gets him across there. What's Yusuf like? Right, Yusuf is a little bit better about getting over here because there's no enemies. I might as well take him out. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm purposely not going to assassinate this person. I'm going to hit him and get into a bit of combat just to show you a little bit of the durability that Ezio does have. So let's hit him now. He missed. I'm surprised at that. Right, because I got hit, I can now activate the counter strike. So I'm going to do that, and he hit him for 230, I think that was, and 229. So nice chunk of damage from that. Obviously I needed to get hit to do that, but it was a nice, obviously, free little whack back that doesn't cost your turn. So it's very handy. Now it's on a recharge. I think it's 3 ticks. So put him in there. Right, you can see that there's 2 numbers popping up there whenever I hit him. Obviously, blade in each hand. So it counts as 2 hits and it accumulates the damage. Sometimes you can hit him and miss. So it's not always guaranteed that you are going to get both hits off. As you can see, the counter strike is now on cooldown. It's now working its way back up, so when that yellow bar gets all the way round, I can use it again in this fight. It will refresh for the next fight. So boom, he's down. As you see, I missed one of them, so luckily enough there was enough damage on the first hit, but I did miss the second hit. Right, let's go down here. He's gonna it's just going to babble on a little bit, so let's just get past this. Skip all when it pops up. Right, there you go, skip all. Right, so now let's carry on our way with Ezio. Right, so as you can see, if I walk into the room with Ezio, right, this is his free running ability to the left. If I click this and it succeeds, I will make it all the way up this side without having to go into combat. So that is one of the things he's very useful at. When it comes to this, avoiding combat and not necessarily getting involved in it, obviously makes it more sustainable, lets you clear more rooms without actually having to engage in fights or take damage. I could jump up here and it would give me a chance to assassinate him, but I've already showed you the assassination, so I'm going to show you this. So there you go, jumped up. He took a bit of damage because even at 95% he still failed. It's just typical. So right, I'm going to walk into here with Ezio. Please don't hurt yourself. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, because I did that, I got crippled. My agility is now lowered, but thankfully I still have the free running ability, which obviously is up at the high 90s. So obviously, yet again, that's just a nice little bonus that he does. So he's up there now. I might as well do that again. He failed it. That's twice. 95%. Twice has failed. This game, honestly, like, I wish they did a lottery. If I had a 5% chance of winning a lottery, I probably would win it 3 times in a week. I'm not kidding you. The amount of times you fail on a 95% is just ridiculous. Right, I'm just going to heal him up now just to get him across because this is annoying me. Right, I'm going to take him and just give him a little bit more boost because obviously he's a little crippled, so this helps him out. Right, I'm going to walk across there. Right, did that. Right, so yet again, can use this as a stealth assassination. So anywhere where he can use the environment, he can assassinate. So yeah, as I said, very, 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 very good hero in my eyes. As I said, he's very accessible, and for most people he will be your go-to shadow assassinator. So yeah, try and farm as many fragments as him as you can because it's the easier legendary to get, and he will get you through a lot of content. He will do, especially if you can obviously gear him up, rank him up, and to clear region 4 it shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, as I said, there obviously are Altair and Darius do outclass him in the lethal toxicity section, but he's still a very, very good hero. So that is my take on him. So yeah, I hope this answered the questions to the gentleman who asked for a little bit of information on Ezio. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, he's not tier 5. One day I will bring you a tier 5 Ezio 5-star, I promise. But until that day, have a fantastic evening, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Take